All right, guys, welcome back. So one of my most successful DIY videos was called Indoor Tabletop Fire Pit. I'll link a video to it so you guys can check that out as well. And it's a video where I make a small indoor fire pit out of hydraulic cement, and it works great. Put isopropyl alcohol in it, lights up beautifully, runs for about 30 minutes, and it's great for indoors. But for outdoors, if you let's say like I've got a porch with a little table and some chairs, and if I want to have friends over you know, in the cooler weather and have a fire pit going on the table, right? I don't have anything to do that. So there's a company called Solo Stove that makes a small tabletop fire pit for the outdoors, and it's great, but they're like $100. And there's a way of making one yourself using a thermos. So I got this thermos from Burlington Coat Factory. It was $14. You can go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's and see what they have there, depending on the stores that are in your area. But this thing was really cheap. It's double walled, so that's very important. Vacuum sealed, and this is stainless steel. What we're gonna do is use a drill bit to make a series of holes, and you'll see what that looks like here in a moment. And this will give you the same effect of a smokeless fire pit that you can have on a tabletop outside and just feed it firewood. It gives great ambiance, and it's really cool to have when people come over, just a little fire going on the table. So let's get started. Okay, so let's take some measurements here. From the inside of the canister to the lip is almost 8 inches. And from the bottom to the lip is a little over 8.5 inches. So there's roughly a 1/2 inch between the bottom and the inside wall. So I think what I'll do is I'll come up from the bottom 1 3/4 inches. And then from that mark, I'll come up another inch for my second set of holes. So we're gonna do 2 sets of holes. The first set of holes is gonna go through all the way into the inside, right? The second set of holes is gonna go through into the first layer, but not through to the second layer. So one is gonna be feeding the fire, the other one is gonna be feeding air, specifically, up the walls, and then shooting the air out. Another set of holes that we will do on the inside here, which is gonna preheat the air on the way up, and it'll combust here cleanly and give us, once we get it going, it'll give us a clean burn and not a lot of smoke, if any. All right, so I've got a couple of drill bits here. I've got 3/8 of an inch, which is what I'm gonna use. I need to make a mark. Well, that's a little bit higher than that. Too high. Ooh, perfect. All right, so I'll make a line all the way around. Okay, and then I need to make another. Perfect. All right. Now, if I really want to make this look as perfect as possible, I can measure the holes out 1 inch apart. Best way to do that is with a piece of tape. I'm just marking out 1 inch at a time on this piece of tape. Okay. Now that means that a couple of my holes will be a little close together, these two specifically, but the rest of them will look nice and neat. If you have a center punch, go ahead and punch right on all the places you're gonna make holes. It makes it easier. Yeah. And I think what I'll do is with this same piece of tape, I'll run it across the top here and offset so that it's got some sort of a design. Yeah, this is better. I like this idea. Kind of making this up as I go along here. Yeah, some of the holes will be a little bit closer, and that's all right. Now I'm gonna drill, and I'll speed this part of the video up so it's not super boring, or probably cut it, but we're just gonna drill through all the way into both outer layer and inner layer on the bottom line. and just into the outer layer on the top line. So that's what the bottom hole is going to look like. I'm now going to show you the top hole. Just like that. Stopping shy of the inner layer. All right, I'll pause the video, but you understand I'm going all the way around. Now you're just trying to get all the shards out. Here's the thing though, you gotta be real careful because some of this stuff still kind of sticks out. Like here's a little burr. So you wanna be careful, make sure you get all the burrs off. Here's one, just kind of run your hands over it gently and find them. Might get a screwdriver or a pair of pliers or something to try to squeeze them, either squeeze them down towards the inside or break them off if you're able to. Yeah, not too bad. I could take these onto my grinding wheel with a wire brush and just buzz all of this off. But I want to keep the black. I mean, if I did that, then I would want to do the whole thing, right? Take all of the paint off. And I don't really want to do that right now. So here's a little tip. If you can go on Amazon and get yourself a drill bit that has this adapter on the end of it and get you a short one, a 3/8, you can then use one of these 90-degree adapters and you can go inside and drill, right? It'll make it a lot easier to drill the inside. I don't have one, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna attempt to do this at an angle, which is not what I wanted to do, but it's what I've got at the moment. And I'm gonna cut or drill my hole, not here, right, but on the inside lip, about 1 inch down so that I can hit this fat area and get between the two walls. I'm not gonna go all the way through, I'm just going through to the first, the inner wall and stopping shy of the outer wall. Oof. Okay, dang it, how do I do this? I'm gonna use a center punch, see if I can. All right, so because I don't have a 3/8 bit in a short format, I am going to use a smaller bit with this 90-degree DeWalt adapter. And essentially I'm gonna drill a pilot hole in the location that I want, right? And then I'll come back with this drill bit and then I'll have something really to grab onto, because right now what's happening is that the drill bit is walking if I try to do it from the outside. So let's try that first. And essentially you just stick it in. I've already got my marks, right, for the 1 inch spacings. And I'm just gonna put it inside. And I may have to turn it from the camera, let's see. Perfect. So I'll do this one, I'm just demonstrating, and then I'll see if I'm able to flip over to this drill bit. So I really do want 3/8 inch holes at the top here. And voila. So I'll do that for every single one of these holes. And if you don't have a stubby 3/8 that you can use with one of these 90-degree angle adapters, you can do what I'm doing, make a pilot hole, and then drill this at an angle. It's going to want to torque the metal out because you're going in at an angle, right? Just try to get that as close as you can to this to 90 degrees from the metal, and then just work it slowly. So I'll do the rest. Now, the only holes that I didn't cut were right in here where the seam is. I'm afraid of breaking the seam. I might put a couple of tiny holes right here, but right now I'm just trying to clean up all of the burrs. Just trying to bend the metal back where it kind of pulled out because of the drill bit. And you have to remember, I mean, the inside of this is sharp, so you know, when you're when you're fooling around with this, lighting it up and stuff, you just gotta be careful. I'm sure that I could find an adapter with like a, oh, in fact, I'm gonna put this on my angle grinder and just go around the inside. I gotta be really careful with this because I'm just gonna try to go around the inside like this. And you just gotta be careful that it doesn't grab this and spin it out of your hand. Always careful. Let's put on some safety glasses, just in case. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this drill bit. It's the biggest short one that I have, and I'm going to just make a couple of holes. I may try to make one more hole here, just gently. Ugh, it's gonna be a rough one. So I made these 2 smaller holes. It's just right on this bead where they welded this together, and I'm just so afraid of grabbing with the larger drill bit and ripping this open. So I'm just gonna leave those 2 holes there. Should be good. Let me tell you something, wear safety glasses. I was hit like 30 times in the face with these little wires that shut off of here. Be smart. Okay guys, that's it. So we've got a set of holes going through, a set of holes just into the inner chamber, and then this set of holes going into just the inner chamber. And the idea is this provides fuel for the fire, this provides air for the chamber that heats the air on the way up, and then superheated air comes out of these holes, which also help ignite the fumes at the top and provide a smokeless fire. Okay, so I did a preliminary firing of this, and in a moment I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's cranked up. But a couple of things that I noticed. You're going to need something to snuff the fire out, and by that I mean you could use something as simple as a base for a pot, right? You could put it on top just to snuff the fire out, or you could cut yourself out of a piece of sheet metal. You could cut yourself out a small round plate that you can just place on top of it. That works too. Remember though that this thing is so efficient when it burns that it will consume what you put in it very, very quickly. But if you've got embers at the bottom and you want to just place something on top of it so that you can leave it overnight, you might want to put something like that on top. The other thing I'm going to do too is I'm going to create a tiny handle. Now, the point of this is not to pick it up and carry it while it's lit, because you're just going to burn your hand. However, if you do need to move it, what you would probably want to do is pick it up from the side and just hold it that way and kind of move it around. It's just something that I'm going to add to it to make it a little bit easier to move around. I'm going to make it out of this, looks like 10 gauge copper wire. It's what I had. You can get fancy with it and go get some stainless steel if you want, although this will oxidize and look really nice. So all I'm going to do is drill a couple of holes, one on either side of this, give this a little bend here, just like this, right? And then I'll just slip that inside, slip this one inside, shape this in whatever form I want it to look like, and then it'll just hang down off the side of it. I'll have to trim this wire just a little bit. So here we go. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a spot where there isn't a hole right in front of where I'm going to be drilling, so that I'm hitting the back of this inner wall. So, and what I'm doing is I'm going to bend this to get it in, and then I'll shape it. Really going backwards, okay? This is too small. Point it out just a little bit, like that. Let's go get this bad boy a try. The best way that I found to start these is to have a small fire starter to toss into the bottom. And I'm gonna start off with a bunch of little tiny sticks, add larger sticks in, and then we'll end off with stuff about this size. Now keep in mind though that when you're using these, you don't want the sticks to stand outside of the canister because they will start smoking. Really, the best thing is for them to be inside, like that. For instance, this right here will smoke because it's outside of or above the inner holes. If you can break this off, then you really won't have that much smoke. So let's give this a try. I'm just gonna place those inside there, light this bad boy up. Get it all the way at the very bottom. It's gonna start smoking. You're gonna let it catch the wood. Once that lights, you start adding more sticks. Cool thing about this device is that you can also use like pellets. Now, if you use pellets though, you'd wanna place something in the bottom of it so that the pellets don't just sit at the bottom, right? Some sort of maybe like a little wire square that you can make out of chicken wire, or wire, you know, that's got little tiny squares in it. Maybe not the big chicken wire, but more like the little tiny squares. You can get them at Home Depot, almost like a net, but it's out of metal. And just cut yourself, you know, a design to make a little cube or something, or even maybe a ball would be fine. Just something to place inside so that it gets some air between the pellets and the base. Now, remember, this is really hot. I mean, really hot. So you don't want to grab it, right? You want to place it where you want to keep it and then leave it there. And once this gets going, there won't be any smoke, in theory. Guys, there it is. The flame is way up here. No smoke. It's beautiful. Let it crank up, get nice and hot, and I'll show you the inside here in a second. So you look inside there and you see the superheated air lighting up there with the fumes and the gases. There's just no smoke whatsoever. And you just keep feeding it, keep giving it fuel, and it'll just continue to burn. It's perfect for a nice little table with all your friends sitting around there. You don't have to go light up a big old fire pit. So a couple of quick notes. This still does get very hot, so you're definitely going to probably need a pair of gloves to move it around if you need to. This is just like if you need to move it, you'll have a way of doing so. Also probably a good idea to put something down below the fire pit, something like maybe a small square cement block. They sell them at Home Depots. They're 4 inches square. You can place that underneath it. That way it's not sitting directly on wood if you're putting it on top of a wood table. Hey guys, I hope you learned something cool today. This fire pit is super easy to build. It works really, really well. And it's perfect for a tabletop right on your porch in the wintertime. Remember, whatever you do today, stay adventurous, my friends. Later.